Some of the new faces on the Rockies may see action tonight. Only 2 spring training games to go. There's Tony Walters, Ryan Rayburn, the veteran who's on the team. And of course, we're all looking forward to Trevor Story getting the start at shortstop come Monday against the Diamondbacks. Spring training baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by CenturyLink. And the Rockies have a game in the dusk in the desert in Peoria, playing the Mariners tonight. Mark Stout and the former Rocky, Corey Sullivan. Always an interesting time of year, winding it down. Got some new faces. We'll see how they do.
Yeah, Trevor Story didn't just beat the door, or he didn't just make the team. He beat the door down. Not with just his numbers, but also with his professionalism and his attitude. Walt's talked at length about that. And then you got Ryan Rayburn, who really fits a specific need for the Rockies in a guy who can go out and crush left-handed pitching. He's had an OPS of over 1,000 the last 3 seasons, which is a big need for the Rockies.
Tony Walters is an interesting guy. He was a third-round pick of the Cleveland Indians in 2010 as a shortstop, a middle infielder. But Terry Francona, the manager of the Indians, said, we're kind of stock there, middle infield. How about you go behind the dish and try catching? So, he tells you that. And that's what Tony Walters decided to do.
I just saw the opportunity and, might as well try it. Feel very confident in my infield game, so wanted to try catch and see how I would do. I think, you can pick the ball when you're catching. You can be a little agile back there, but they're 2 different beasts. You're always in the game when you're catching.
But Corey, what do you think of this kid? He's only 23, pretty high draft pick. This is kind of a big transition.
Yeah, Walt mentioned that he didn't know a whole lot about him coming into the season. Neither did I. But he really impressed the front office with his footwork behind the plate and also his ability to handle the bat. He really fits that unique mold of a guy who can catch and play middle infield. And this is something the Rockies have really wanted in their bench, is guys that aren't one-dimensional, that can fit multiple places. It helps with pitching matchups. It also helps give the regulars an extra day off. Tony Walters really fits into that mold, and it's very big for the Rockies to have a guy like that on the bench.
He's made for the National League for all those kind of changes.
Absolutely.
That happen in a game. Let's show you the Rockies batting order, which is brought to you by Southwest. And you'll see some familiar names. The infield is going to be Adames and Story at second and short. They'll be at the top of the lineup. Nolan hitting third. Rayburn is going to hit fourth, and we'll tell you why in a moment. Then Brandon Barnes in center. Paulson playing at first. Correll Prime, minor leaguer's going to DH. Jackson Williams behind the plate, and Jordan Patterson in left field. As for the Mariners, you'll see familiar names. Everybody knows Robbie Cano, Nelson Cruz in the middle. You know that he can leave the yard. Adam Lynn, Chris Iannetta, the former Rocky, is in there. And Aoki, acquisition for the Mariners, is at the top of the lineup. Time now for the CenturyLink What's Next, and that's about the pitching matchup. Christian Bergman and Wade Miley is a left-hander, so that's probably why Ryan Rayburn's in the middle of the order.
And it's good for Brandon Barnes to get the opportunity, trying to make that final impression, see if he makes the team.
Christian Bergman, we showed you his numbers in the spring. It's kind of irrelevant, though, with the role he has, right, Corey?
Yeah, he's kind of caught in that swingman role where he might be the long guy out of the bullpen, might be the guy make a spot start, but he fits that mold perfectly, basically with his attitude. He's a real cool cat. Nothing rattles him. But what I like about him is he's fearless. He goes out, he attacks hitters, and he's not afraid to take the baseball.
He pitched last Sunday when I was down there. Hey, Paul Goldschmidt hit a home run off him, and he was like, well, that's what happened.
That's what he's supposed to do.
And he's already come into a game this year in spring training where John Gray left with an injury, and that's a role that he, of course, can fill. Well, guess what, Rockies fans? The biggest idea ever from Taco Bell, it's the new quesalupa. Melty pepper jack cheese stuffed inside the shell, only at Taco Bell. 2 games to go, both with the Mariners. We've got spring training baseball coming your way next here on Root Sports.
Each week on
Complex in the West Valley of the Sun as we welcome you to some Major League Baseball. The final home game this spring for the Mariners as they take on the Colorado Rockies. As we welcome in viewers in the Mariners and Rockies markets, Dave Sims, Jeff Houston, Mike Blowers, good to have you with us as we wrap up the home stand for the month of March for the Seattle Mariners. And tonight, Jeff Houston, want to talk to you about one of the newer guys on your ball club, Trevor Story, who has made this ball club at shortstop, has really opened up a lot of eyes. The pluses and minuses of this young man. Walk us through.
Well, I look at this guy and what he had to do to get here, coming up through the minor leagues, worked his way up from rookie ball last year, split some time between AA and AAA, came into camp not sure what was going to happen. He was battling with Christian Adames, but he went out there and he earned the starting nod, and they named him a few days ago, and you could just tell that he said, yeah, I feel like I belong here. And so what I've seen so far during spring training is a guy that's handled the bat, he's also handled the glove. Now, going forward, what happens during the course of the season when you're slumping a little bit like we all do at the major league level? Is he still going to carry that glove? And I think he will, but this kid, it's really a treat to be able to watch him every day because there's been some hype. He's a 45th pick overall back in 2011, and he said he put his foot down and said, I want this job, and he did it.
Terrific story. Look forward to seeing him. And here's Wade Miley with Mark Burley retired. He may be the quickest worker in the major league, so do not blink. Here we go. Christian Adames, first batter, looks at a strike. John Bostwick has balls and strikes with Ryan Goodman and Chris Segal on the bases. Jeff, you ever play behind anybody as fast as Miley?
No, but I wish I would have because they're fun if you're an infielder or an outfielder because he gets the ball and he goes. There's no standing around and there's no daydreaming.
So he told us he never likes to turn his back to the catcher. Fly ball. Aoki coming in. Right center field, one down.
For Miley tonight, he's probably only going to go 2 or 3 innings. Scott Service was telling me this afternoon, just depends on how he feels, where his pitch count is going to be. You talked about how fast he is, Dave. Somebody said, how long do you think it's going to take him? He goes, he might get through 3 innings in about 15 minutes if he's throwing strikes.
Be putting over-unders on that one. Well, here's the aforementioned Trevor Story. Good spring, 354, 6 homers, 13 runs batted in.
And not all of those home runs have been pole home runs. There have been some to the opposite field where he's taking it out to right center, even right field.
Down low to Story.
High school pick out of Texas.
One to Trevor. And for so long, Troy Tulowitzki was the face of your franchise. Shortstop for a long time and big shoes to fill.
They are, but I think with Trevor, he understands that he doesn't have to be him. He just has to be Trevor Story. And that's a pretty good representation of a major leaguer.
That's a good hurdle to cross right there. Two-one. Oh, right back through the box, but caught there by Cano. Throw out Story. And whistled by the ear. Wade Miley having a laugh about it.
Well, you can see Robbie pointing to his eyes. You get down here in spring training, even though it is a night game, the stands are low. He had a hard time seeing it at first. Pretty nice adjustment, though. Made it look easy.
Well, here's All-Star, Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, Nolan Arenado. His numbers, 564. That's 31 for 55, 6 homers and 17 runs batted in.
And playing in his 21st game tonight.
You surprised to see him in here?
Yes and no, only because the season's a couple days down the way. But for Nolan, he never wanted to get out of that comfort zone where you'd play 2 days in a row, take a day or 2 off, get back out there. He wanted to make sure that he stayed in that rhythm, and boy, has he ever. Plus, he's a kid that just loves to play the game. It doesn't matter where it is.
Jeff, you and I have talked about this a lot, too, from the time that we played. We had teammates in spring training that wanted to try to get 80, 90 at-bats. Some guys just wanted 50. They're all different.
Everybody is. There's no benchmark for anybody. And that's where you have to be able to talk to your manager and say, this is what I want. And
Right.
Nolan says, I want to go out there and I'll play every day.
High fly ball. Aoki is under it. And there you have it, a 1-2-3 quick inning thrown by Wade Miley as we are underway here in Peoria. Scott Service, skipper for the Mariners, signing some autographs before the game. We'll take a look at his lineup when we return here to Peoria right after this.
Which side is our best?
First inning here with the Mariners coming to bat. Mariners' final home game here in Peoria. On the mound, Christian Bergman, right-hander, 2-1, 3.38 ERA. And where's he figure in the rotation for the Rockies?
One of the long guys in the bullpen for Colorado, and that's where his versatility comes in so handy. He's a guy that can sit for 10 days and not see the field, not see the mound, but go out there. First pitch seems to be a strike.
His sixth game, his third start. Nori Aoki leads things off for the Mariners. He's hit safely in 11 of his last 13 ball games. A lot of the regulars in the lineup for the Mariners here. Pitch hit foul. Both of you guys can relate to this. Let's get to the regular season. It's time to end this.
Yeah, you go around and you talk to the guys. It's been that way for probably the last week, especially the position players. Jeff and I, we both have been there. I think what you're going to probably see with the starters for the Mariners anyway, maybe 2, possibly 3 today, and maybe not in the lineup at all, or maybe just an at-bat or 2 tomorrow, which is what Scott Service was talking about this afternoon.
There's Robbie Cano's having a fantastic spring as Aoki strikes out, one away.
Christian Bergman with the hard down and in slider. He'll just move the ball around. He knows how to pitch because doesn't have those power fastballs like you see so many guys have now. He'll be 88 to 92. But he'll sink it, run it, cut it.
Here's Kyle Seager looking at a strike. Pretty cool during infield workouts before the game back in the main practice field. And Kyle's other brother, Justin, the middle brother of the Seager boys, was watching BP. Justin, the first baseman, is going to be with Jackson this year, the Mariner chain. Interesting story. He said their father, Jeff, of the 3 boys, he steered Kyle to be a lefty swinger. He said the other guy with Corey and Justin, hey, whatever feels natural. But he said he steered this guy to be a lefty hitter.
It's worked out well for him.
Yes, it has. That is foul ball. Count remains 0-2. Kyle, 308 this spring, 2 homers, 13 runs batted in.
Saw his brother quite a bit last year.
Corey with the
LA,
Dodgers?
Yeah, with the Dodgers, and what an impressive talent he is. Much taller.
Yeah, 6'4"-ish. We've seen highlights. You've seen him a lot more than we have. What was the biggest thing that jumps out at you?
I look at his bat.
Okay.
Yeah, his bat really plays, and for a big guy, it's a pretty short swing. It's not real long like some of the 6'4", 6'5". They get a little loop in that swing. His didn't seem that way.
And we've seen all the numbers. We've seen him in the rankings, #1 prospect in baseball. So fouled back. Count remains 0-2. Don't forget the Mariners season opener coming up Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific time against Texas. Mariners open the season down there against the defending AL West champions. Come home for Oakland. Ken Griffey Jr. throws out first pitch for the home opener a week from tonight. 1-2 to Kyle. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You got an easy opener. Jeff, you guys don't have to move too far.
No, just change hotels. Go from North Scottsdale to more central Phoenix. A little closer to the ballpark, and that's it.
Take on the Diamondbacks. Good at bat by Kyle Seager. Good 2-strike hitting. The Mariners have their first runner. The first base runner of the ball game.
The Rockies will go open up in Arizona Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
See Kyle staying on that pitch, like an off-speed pitch, running off the outside corner. Spoke to Kyle about a week ago on the backfields and asked him, because he improves every year, all aspects of his game, and he talked right away average. Didn't think twice about it. I want to get my average up. We talked about it. They shift on him all the time, Jeff. I look for him to hit the ball the other way quite a bit more than he has in the past.
And that's how you're going to have to beat the shifts. I mean, you're not going to be able to slug it past a lot of guys all the time.
Right.
I mean, they put that shift on for a reason, and now it's up to the hitter to adjust and say, okay, if they're not going to give it to me, then I'll just take it the other way.
Robinson Cano, 365, 7 homers, 16 runs batted in. Cleared the batter's eye. The home run earlier in the week. Tonight, the wind blowing out towards the left. Over in the East Valley, has the wind been as heavy as it's been over here?
Doesn't seem that way. There's been a couple days where you would get it where it was, the flag was really whipping in the wind, but not too terrible.
Well, Mike and I, we sat through a few games straight out and straight to right. I mean, starched. Hit hard, base hit. Seager's going to get the third. Cano slams on the brakes, and the Mariners in business with 1 out, runners at the corners. There's that inside pitch, Mike, got to it. Big difference from last year and early on. Boy, did he hit that hard.
We'll take a look at the location of this pitch. Trying to go to the inside corner, probably more middle in, but anything that's been left middle in this spring, Robinson Cano has pulled the ball with authority, including hitting it out of the ballpark. You can tell he's finally healthy.
Just the noise coming off of that bat's a great sign.
Well, if you think back to last year with the injuries that he had, more times than not, he was just trying to fight that pitch off. He really couldn't do much with it.
There's Nelson Cruz DHing tonight. He's been hot his last 7 games. Got off to an 0 for 15 start. Over his last 7, he's hitting .292 with 3 homers and 8 runs batted in. Pulled foul. Adam Lind, the on-deck hitter, had to get out of the way. 0-2. Bergman ready, 0-2. Cruz able to lay off. Rockies come in with a record of 15-12-3. The Mariners 15-14-2. Just one out, couple of men aboard. Jeff, what's the biggest concern with the Rockies? Pitching again?
It's some of the health of the starters. I mean, John Gray, saw him throw today. He had an abdominal strain, but he looks like it's not going to be too long of a deal. Jason Mott just went down with a sore shoulder, but again, nothing like he had last year.
Elliott swings through a breaking ball, 2 down. 2 outs going to bring up Adam Lind. Mike, your thoughts if we look at this pitch here?
Maybe a slider that Christian got away with.
Backed up a little bit.
Back up slider.
Man.
Sometimes those are the best pitch.
Here's Adam Lind. And Mike, I ask you about the Mariner bullpen. Your thoughts on Jerry DiPoto completing that portion of the ball club the other day with Nick Vincent?
I thought there was some really good competition throughout spring, and I know that when he made the trade just a few days ago to get Nick Vincent, there were some disappointed people in camp, some guys that I felt that pitched well enough to make the ball club, but that's part of what's going on. And with Jerry, he's talked about it all the time, depth, and more depth, and he's added to it, getting Nick Vincent. Nick actually pitched in a minor league game yesterday, won an inning of scoreless baseball. The big club was off, and we'll get a chance to see Nick pitch in tomorrow's game. I think the biggest thing with the bullpen is what is Mike Montgomery going to do, having never been a reliever, trying to fill that spot without having Charlie Furbush out there. And the only way you're going to find out is to run him out there and see what he can do.
And at this rate, we don't have a due date in terms of Charlie Furbush's return, which is really a tough break for the ball club. 3-0 to Lind, a .270 hitter this spring, 2 homers, 6 runs batted in. Takes strike, 3-1. Scott Service looking forward to his first official game as a big league manager, as a manager at any level. That's coming up on Monday. Big rip by Lind. Chance here with 2 outs and a 3-2 pitch coming to Lind. Bergman deals. Strike 3 called. Bergman thought he had. Lind thought he had a free pass. Bergman comes away with his 3rd strikeout, stranding 2. No score here in Peoria.
It's the Rockies.
About 2 miles north of here. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and Jeff Houston with you here in Peoria. Jeff grew up in that neighborhood. You carve any initials in those rocks?
Well, one or two. Maybe rode some bikes through those hills.
Ryan Rayburn, veteran outfielder.
Sedona was so small at the time I was living there, there wasn't even a high school.
There wasn't it, but that's.
I did.
How far did you have to go for high school?
About 18 miles.
And it was a long walk.
Yes, it was.
Rim
Uphills
shot. Rim
uphill
shot.
both ways.
2-1.
Well, last time we saw Ryan Rayburn was right here after the Rockies had just signed him. Went out that day against Felix Hernandez, threw out a couple hits, and now he's on the roster.
Seen a lot of him in Detroit in the last few years. Wade Miley, first inning, 12 pitches, 6 for strikes. So a few minutes ago, we showed a picture of Jerry DiPoto, the Mariners GM, watching the game down right behind the net. You go back a few years with Jerry. There's Jerry in the gray.
Well, JD, he was working television in Colorado in 2005, and then decided to get out and go back into the front office scouting, and that's when I got a call.
So it opened up the door for you.
Yeah.
All right. So you salute him every time you see him, right?
Exactly. I shake his hand. Thanks, JD. Appreciate it.
And how about you and Scott Service? I know there's so many paths cross in baseball.
You know, it's baseball. It's a very small fraternity, and Scott and I were together in the Cubs system. We both rode for a couple years. He was a roving catcher. I was the infield.
Brandon Barnes, the hitter, the center fielder. There's Scott. It's going to be pretty different. Instead of warming up a guy when he goes out on Monday to hand out the lineup card, he said, a little bit different than my first time up as a player. You're
in charge of so many more people.
Oh, it's unbelievable. He said he's heard from a lot of guys that he's played with over the years and some managers, and hey, how you doing? How's it feel? He said, but of course now that those calls have become a lot more infrequent as we get closer to opening day. Bill Stoudemire, the pitching coach, on the left. Okie took a step back, but runs it down. We welcome viewers on Root Sports watching in both the Rockies and Mariners home markets. I'm Dave Sims along with Jeff Hewson of the Rockies broadcast, and of course Mike Flowers from the Mariners. We play here 2 outs, top of the second. Ben Paulson's going to stand in, first baseman.
You're talking about Scott Service, and hasn't managed anywhere till he showed up here in Seattle. And today he was talking about that, and I thought it was interesting. He talked so much about tough play. I don't think they were able to pick it up right away.
Yep.
But he said the one thing that he's comfortable with is, and he thinks that the thing that helped him the most, and we see it all around baseball, as having been a former catcher and watching things, he said the speed of the game is not going to be a problem. Of course, he's going to lean on Tim Bogar quite a bit to help him with situations. He said, but it's like anything, you have to go through it for the first time. And he seemed pretty excited about Monday, though, Dave.
There's Tim on the right, his bench coach. Tim with a little managerial experience, finishing up in Texas a couple of years ago when Ron Washington stepped aside. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be interesting. It'll be very interesting. So look at Correll Prime, the DH today.
Correll, a big kid a couple years ago in Asheville, just tore the cover off the baseball. Struggled a little when he moved up to high A, but went down to winter ball in Australia this year and put up some numbers there. And you're going to have those struggles in the minor leagues, but this kid is a big, strong athlete.
It's like a taller version of Dexter Fowler, who used to be with you guys.
A little thicker.
Yeah. 2 outs and Paulson at second. Yeah, Mike, you're talking about Scott Service being a former catcher. You look at the roster of managers, it seems like every year another catcher gets named. Joe Madden in his minor leagues was a catcher. You know about Girardi and Socia, there's a ball driven to deep right center field, and it's off the base of the fence. Correll Prime with an RBI double, 1-0 Colorado. Just his third at bat with the big club. He's 2 for 3 now and picks up his second RBI.
Well, for Correll, he just stays inside the baseball and drives it to right field, right off the base of the wall. A little short hop. 2 for 3 now. I said, why haven't I been in the lineup more?
That's a good sign to see a young hitter like that stay inside the baseball, as you were just talking about, Jeff.
And against a veteran pitcher like Wade Miley.
There's Jackson Williams, catcher. Struggle for him so far this spring, 1 for 20. Paulson comes around to score, 1-0 Rockies. Fouled off 1-1.
Second tour of duty for Jackson. He was with the Rockies to start his career, then left and came back. One of those very good catch and throw type of catchers.
1-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Some of these Rockies saw Miley when he was with the Diamondbacks a couple of years ago. And the Mariners saw Miley last year with the Red Sox up the middle. Slowed it down just a little bit. Cano's there. And that'll be out number 3. A run on 2 hits. No errors, a man left. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Rockies. Good look at Correll Prime. Drove in the only run of the ball game. 2-1 pitch. He drove it off the base of the fence in right center field for the 1-0 Colorado lead. For the Mariners here in the second. 6, 7, and 8 in the order coming up. Franklin Gutierrez, Chris Iannetta, and Ketel Marte. Seth Smith, a late scratch. Had some groin problems earlier in the week. Give him another couple of days rest. Smitty's had a fabulous, fabulous spring. Hitting at .541. Here's Goody. He's done well. 300, 4 homers, and 7 runs batted in. Breaking ball pulled to the shortstop Story. 1 away. Bring up Chris Iannetta. Catcher for the Mariners. Spent some time with the Rockies organization. Story's been a big part of what's happening in Colorado. And of the new infielders in the National League, it's got to be one of the most highly regarded and highly rated infielders, right? Coming up this year?
Yeah, I would think so. And playing a prime position, too. I mean, one of those middle infield guys.
There's a fly ball center field.
They're always looked upon. I think the shortstops and catchers, the two guys when you break into the big leagues that really have that spotlight on them. But so far, this kid has done everything. He answers questions the right way, has respect of the locker room and his teammates because he works hard, and it just goes about his business.
Two outs here in the bottom of the second. Ketel Marte, Mariners shortstop. Congratulations to Leonys Martin and his wife for welcoming his son a couple of days ago. Expect to see Ketel back tomorrow. Certainly we'll have him for Monday for the season opener. 0-2 to Marte. Been fun watching this youngster develop. 8-game hitting streak working. Ball and 2 strikes. Christian Bergman, 2-1 this spring. Arenado's good, but he ain't that good. He's not going to get Marte.
He's still going to throw it, though. He's still going to throw it. Talk about guys that have no fear when they play defense. Nolan.
He's got to be the best jump thrower in the National League right now, right?
Jump throwing, bare hand thrower, backhand charging.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal the amount of throws from the different arm angles, and then you see it, and it's all within like a 3-foot radius. The first baseman just waits for it to get there. Nice. I got it. There's no, 5 feet this way.
Right.
High.
Very reassuring. Daniel Robertson fouling one off. Robertson. Sensational spring, 18 for 45, and even 400, 6 doubles. He's got 3 triples. One on the count.
And this is just kind of typical Christian Bergman. He'll be right around the corner, shaving the edges. Will challenge the hitters. He's going to give up some hits, no doubt, but just really mixes it up.
Story flips to Adames. They get the force on Marte. Mariners are done in the second. How did they make funnel cakes? Well, here's an early indication. There you go. Come back and see some finished product a little bit later. 1-0 Rockies.
Arizona for the third inning.
Well, fast-working Wade Miley's already delivered a pitch. It's ball one to Jordan Patterson leading off the third. Well, stroked into right center field. Aoki going over to get it. And Patterson up from the minor leagues with a base hit. Start things off in the third. Third hit given up by Wade Miley. Gave up an RBI double. Back in the second to Correll Prime.
This will probably be his last inning. Again, Scott Service saying this afternoon that he would go 2 or 3 innings depending on his pitch count.
Top of the order, Christian Adames. Good looking move, and he got him. One away. Minor leaguer feeling pretty good about himself. Base hit, and then it happens.
Well, I think for me, that's the first time I've seen Miley have such a good move to first. We really haven't seen him break this one out. Maybe he wanted to try it one time.
Ooh, looked like Joe Beimel there.
Good call.
Pitch to Adames is a strike. Christian, switch hitter, playing second base. Flied out center, that pitch up high.
Christian will be on the bench for the Rockies this year. I mentioned earlier he came into camp vying for that shortstop, starting shortstop position. But a switch hitter that can play short or second. Tonight he's at second base. Just a valuable piece of that bench puzzle.
What do people around the Rockies, what are they saying about things that are happening in your division as Adames strikes out? 2 away.
And we'll take a look at the pitch from Wade Miley. Set up on the outside corner. More in the middle of the plate. Looked like a cut fastball.
But to get back to your question a moment ago, you look at it, I think everybody has pluses and minuses. I mean, there's nobody that you talk about the Dodgers, you know, their rotation's kind of a mess. Arizona is the team that made a big splash this offseason, obviously, with Zach Greinke and Shelby Miller. But I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite. If you ask 5 people, I think there's 2 or 3 different teams. The Giants are always in there.
Well, that's the thing about the National League this year. We were talking about this earlier in the year. There's 5, 6 teams maybe in the National League, whereas in the American League, it seems like it's, you know, the parity is such that there might be out of 15 teams, you might be talking about 10 or 11 that have a shot.
Well, that's great for baseball. That's the best thing about it when you have that. Your team gets on a roll coming out of the gate and just keeps it going.
2 strikeouts, no walks for Miley this far. He's got a pickoff for the first out in this inning. And he's behind here to Story, 2-1. Good pitch. 2-2.
He's had a good changeup all spring. I think we'll probably see that quite a bit from him this year.
Two pitch, fouled off. Would you agree with that, Mike? 10, 11 teams,
yeah.
More parity, American League. National League, probably looking at New York and Washington, Arizona, San Fran, Chicago, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh.
Maybe Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Foul. Two and 2 to Trevor Story. Play him straight away in the outfield and in the infield. Struck him out. Good pitch by Miley. Back-to-back Ks, 3 for his 3 innings. 1-0 Rockies here in Peoria. Beautiful sunset here in Peoria, Arizona. We welcome in viewers on Root Sports in both the Rockies and the Mariners home markets. I'm Dave Sims with Jeff Houston from the Rockies broadcast crew and Mike Flowers from the Mariners. And it just so happens Mike and Jeff were teammates in a Montreal Expos organization some years ago. Some years ago.
Thanks, Dave.
Some years ago. I didn't put a number. I just said some years. I mean, you know, go with
for saying it that way.
I could have said a millennium ago. I mean.
Well, that's true, too. But what was fun about that is Mike played third, I played short, so we had a lot of conversations.
Aoki leading off for the Mariners, second time through the order.
And a lot to learn.
Yes. Isn't that the truth?
Aoki, good pitch, and swings through it. For you guys haven't played during your era, to see all these switches. I mean, Mike, I know you and I talk about it all the time. I'm sure you and Drew Goodman on Colorado talk about it. Are you used to it, or is it still a little bit mind-boggling?
I think I've become accustomed to it now. But it is a little bit different, all the shifts and everything that's going on, because shifts before used to be 2-3 feet one way or the other.
An occasional hitter, maybe, that they would do it more too.
And you only saw it with the left-handed hitters.
Matt Noakes was a former teammate of mine. They used to do it with him all the time, but it was rare.
So we talk to guys in baseball, and you listen and watch, and they say, hey, this is what the data says.
Mm-hmm. And what I find interesting now, too, is when you watch guys take ground balls, how they take ground balls differently.
How so?
Because you'll have a second baseman go take ground balls 4 or 5, 10 feet out on the outfield grass. You'll see guys, you know, maybe where Nolan's playing right now, he's already telling Trevor, hey, if it comes to me, you're going to have to be the guy. If I have to flip it to you to go to first base, I might be so far out. So you see different guys in different positions now, but they'll take ground balls doing it.
A lot of changes. 2-2 to Seager. Skies this one. Last time in a 2-2 pitch, he singled to center. Making the catches. Jordan Patterson 2 away.
Yeah, fans, you still need some opening day tickets. You can guarantee them at a discount when buying season tickets or a 20 or 25 game mini plan. Make sure you get that. Call 303 Rockies or go online to rockies.com/tickets.
Here's Robinson Cano, base hit to right field in his first time up. Fastball away from Bergman. Ball one. Probably fouls this one off. It's interesting, Mike, watching a couple of MLB shows and hearing people. A lot of people like the Mariners to get a wild card spot this year.
I think, again, when you look at this club, the lineup has definitely been improved. We've seen that throughout the spring, and it's what Jerry DiPoto talked about, high on-base percentage guys, so that Cano and Cruz and Seager could increase that RBI total for them, which means you're scoring more runs. I think also the element of speed, which we've seen from a number of guys in the lineup, I think that's exciting. The question is how is this bullpen going to come together? And I think the first month is going to be critical for them. We've already talked about it. They're not going to have Charlie to start the year. Mike Montgomery made the club, but he's been a starter. Now he's going to have to pitch out of the bullpen. So we'll have to wait and see how all that's going to come together. It's something that Scott even talked about today. That's going to be, as manager, a first-time manager, that's going to be his biggest challenge, is managing those guys out in the pen.
3-1 to Robbie. Fouled off.
Jeff, you were talking about the shifts and guys taking their practice ground balls in different areas. One of the things that was interesting to me this spring with the Mariners putting the shifts on, I was talking to Scott Service about it, and he said we may not necessarily shift on that guy or in that situation during the season, but I wanted these guys to get used to the distances between the player to their left and their right, and I want them to practice that so they're used to that. So I'll be curious to see how much the Mariners are going to do that during the season.
Leave nothing to chance.
Right.
That's a big adjustment, isn't it?
It is, because you grow up. You don't do that when you're playing Little League or even high school. I think you probably see it more now in college than we ever did. But you have that comfort zone of where I like to take a ground ball, and I know my range and how far I go before I have to stop and give it up to somebody else.
Cruz, line drive, left field, and it's run down by Jordan Patterson. Well, we showed you the beginnings of a funnel cake. Here's the finished product here in Peoria. 1-0 Rockies. This is the Mariners' final spring game here in Peoria as we get ready to take off for the season opener in Texas. Wade Miley, his night done. 3 innings, 3 hits, a run, it was earned, no walks, 3 strikeouts, 43 pitches, 27 for strikes. What do you think, Mike?
I thought that he looked good. I think he's ready to go for the most part. He was down in the zone again, an excellent changeup. I thought he pitched in just enough. This is basically a final tune-up for him. That's why he's going just the 3. But I think he's ready to go.
Here's Joaquin Benoit, be the 8th inning man for the Mariners this year. 1-0 with a 1.80 ERA in 5 games thus far. Nolan Arenado, Ryan Rayburn, Brandon Barnes, 3-4-5 coming up here in the 4th inning for the Rockies. Arenado, first time up, fly to center on a 3-1 pitch. Play Arenado straight up in the infield and in the outfield.
Talking about the shifts, Jeff, what an advantage for both these ball clubs with the third baseman that they have. Both of them Gold Glovers, because sometimes I don't think you can. There's some teams that just can't afford to have their third baseman over there in that shortstop position, but both of these guys are comfortable doing it.
And then that means that you can say, you're there, you're at the shortstop area, you can make that play instead of having to move them maybe over towards second base, way out there, and have the shortstop stay at home.
Right.
With that, I know Colorado, they don't need to do that because Nolan was a shortstop growing up, and he can play that. He has the actions to do it.
When we noticed Seattle doing it quite a bit more, Kyle used to go over and play on the second base side, which made sense because he came up as a second baseman. But the more that he had a chance to play, they decided, no, we'll try him over there a few times. And he makes all the plays and no problem turning the double play if he needs to. I think that's a pretty big advantage.
Well, it is. The fewer guys you have to move out of position, the better your defense is going to be.
Ball and 2 strikes to Arenado leading off here in the 4th. 1-0 on a Carrell Prime 2nd inning double. RBI double. And that pitch outside 2-2. Mariners with this good attendance tonight, going to set a attendance record here in Peoria. Marte with the backhand, strong throw, one down. What a good-looking throw. Join the Mariners in Boeing for Salute to Armed Forces Night on Saturday, April 9th. The A's will be in town. Get there early, special pregame ceremony. Then after the game, 10,000 fans will receive a collectible military coin. Get your tickets at mariners.com. Bring up Ryan Rayburn. Finally struck him out to lead off the second inning. Jeff, looking at your starters, the starting lineup, your starting 8. The core of your guys, everybody healthy with the Rockies?
Knock on wood, yes.
Exactly, knock on wood, yeah.
I think that's what everybody's doing right now. All the GMs, the managers, all the front office folk, they're saying knock on wood. No, nobody gets hurt in the last couple days. But right now, yes, everybody is healthy and ready and raring to go.
Jorge De La Rosa gets a start in the opener?
Yep, that'll be the second time he's been the opening day starter. He was also 2 years ago down in Miami, so he'll be the opening day starter. And the Rockies are going to go with 4 guys in the rotation for the first, probably the first 10 days or so, with a couple off days built in. And they're still waiting to figure out the team really hasn't been set yet. I was talking to Walt a little bit today, and he just said, you know what, we're still looking at a few pieces. You know,
wow.
whether Brandon Barnes, who's on deck. I mean, he's still in the mix. Johan Flande will probably come in next inning. He's a mix in one of those long spots out in the bullpen.
Strike 3 called. Rayburn gone. Strikeout for Benoit, his first.
And a pretty good looking fastball. You can see it right on the outside corner. Rayburn didn't think so.
So 2 outs. Here's Barnes, flied out to center. Benoit's seen it all, done it all. Bunt attempt popped up foul over the screen.
Benoit is going to be really important to the bullpen. He'll probably be the guy to close when Cishek isn't able to. He's pitched a few days in a row. You have Tony Zick out there, a guy that's just trying to figure things out. Power arm for the Mariners on the pen. Tony's fastball 95 to 97 with a good breaking ball.
And under ideal conditions, what Benoit will be the 8th inning guy setting up Cishek.
Right.
Quick 2 outs and an 0-2 pitch coming here. Easy play for Cano. And Benoit has a breeze in the 4th. Coming up for the Mariners, Lynn, Gutierrez, and Iannetta, 1-0 Colorado. Game of the spring, 1-0 Rockies. Christian Bergman. Pretty good outing tonight, Jeff.
Well, it really was, and this is typical Christian Bergman. He'll spot this fastball, he'll elevate it when he needs to, throw in a slider, good changeup, not overpowering, but he knows how to pitch, and he knows what his role is and what he needs to do whenever he's called upon to do it. And it's just kind of an example tonight of Christian's role out in that bullpen, whether it'll be a long guy, spot starter if somebody gets sick at the last moment. Johan Flande, similar situation, the new pitcher for the Rockies, coming in and came up last year and then said, you want me to start? I'll start. You want me to be out in the bullpen, be that guy? I'll do that. And that's why they're still kind of juggling pieces. Where are they going to go with a 12-man bullpen or a 12-man pitching staff, or 13? Is it going to be 4 guys on the bench? Is it going to be 5? Is it, all these things are still kind of, so this is a very important outing tonight for Johan. I mentioned Brandon Barnes, a couple guys that are going to go tomorrow, Scott Oberg, Jason Gurka. They're all in the mix, and they're anxious right now.
Oh, it's got to be brutal here. It's the last 36 hours. Adam Lind will lead it off for the Mariners, followed by Franklin Gutierrez and Chris Iannetta. Lind took a called third strike his first time up. Looks at a strike here. Big acquisition during the offseason. Hoping to provide a lot of power for the Mariners at first base. Yeah, the blueprint is to get a power bat at first base. Been a while since they had a first baseman with that kind of pop.
I'll be curious to see how much he plays against left-handers early in the season.
1-2. His numbers aren't as good, about 100.5 points less hitting against lefties as opposed to righties.
He's dominated right-handed pitching, but I think with the situation that they're in, to try to get his bat in there, I think Scott will pick and choose some left-handed pitchers to leave him in there against. I don't think it's going to be an automatic you're going to pinch hit for him just because a lefty comes out of the bullpen. And a lot of it will obviously come down to Lind and how he handles that situation early on.
2-2 to Adam. Counts run full. There's Goody, he's on deck. Flande 3-3 with the Rockies last year, in the area of 4.74. Swing and a miss.
Little slider from Flande. He thought he had struck him out with a fastball on the corner, so went back to that outer half, but chased it off the plate.
Franklin Gutierrez grounded out to short. Don't forget, everybody, the Mariners season opener, 1 p.m. Pacific time Monday. Felix Hernandez against Cole Hamels. Texas is the defending division champion. Mariners went 12-7 against them last year. Felix 5-0 against the Rangers with a 1.83 ERA. It was in last year's campaign. The other thing too, Mike, that we've seen over the years, especially when Texas was really mashing the ball, Felix is just 17-21 career against the Rangers.
Had a tough time pitching in their ballpark. Was able to get that turned around last year.
He sure did. 2-0 with a 2.92. Much better. Cole Hamels will oppose Felix in that game. Hamels 7-1 with the Rangers after coming over in the trade from Philly. Mariners were able to beat Hamels 2 out of 3 times last year. As Goody works the count to 3-1. Fired up the barbecue again. Got some smoke wafting over towards home plate. You might see it on a TV or story with a nice hop to him.
And for the Rockies, they open up, as we mentioned earlier, down here in Arizona. It'll be Jorge De La Rosa against Zach Greinke. Finish up that series on Wednesday afternoon, a day game, fly back to Denver, and then home opener a week from today against the San Diego Padres.
Here's Chris Iannetta, the Mariner catcher, flied out to center. Mariners threatening the first inning. Runners at first and third, but left them stranded. Got a 2-out base hit in the second from Marte. And no hit since then. Two and one. Two-one, Iannetta. Hit well, right center field, but run down by Brendan Barnes. I told you, they fired up the old Barbie. Smoke wafting over the ballpark here in Peoria. 1-0 Rockies. Lead for the Rockies over the Mariners here as we begin the top of the fifth inning. Dave Sims and Jeff Houston from the Rockies telecast, and joining us right now, the Rockies starter tonight, Christian Bergman, who went 3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, a walk, and 4 Ks. Christian, Dave Sims here. What'd you think of your performance tonight?
It was good. Threw a lot of pitches in the first inning, but it was good to get a little sweat going there early and kind of find a way through it and build off that.
I was talking about your ability to adapt in your role out in the bullpen, and it looks like it might be that same thing this year where it's, spot start, a long relief, but sitting for 5 or 6 days, having to come in and throw strikes. Is it something that you kind of to relish now?
Yeah, I have to. My not so much my role, but just the things I'm asked to do changes a lot. It can be short outings, long outings, starts. So one of the things I just have to be good at is adapting.
What's it mean for you, though, this year? Last year you made the opening day roster. Now, again, back-to-back years.
It's obviously very special. I actually didn't find out till about 10 minutes ago for sure. But it's a good thing to hear every time.
Well, that's a load off your back. Holy mackerel, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I guess they wanted me to work a little harder.
Holy mackerel, who told you?
Oh, Walt did.
What is it? Very matter-of-factly how you made the team?
Yeah, kind of. It wasn't far from that.
Wow.
Well, I guess I was just assuming that you had made it, but they didn't tell you until after you came out of the game.
No, I'd heard some things, but I hadn't had any confirmation yet, so I didn't want to assume anything.
Well, congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Man, that's got to feel great. Jeez, I mean, you wake up today, you know you got to throw, it's on the line here.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like.
But you went out. I mean, from our vantage point, just watching you on the mound, you just seem natural and normal like you always do when you go out there. Were there butterflies, though, underneath that jersey and that stomach?
Once the first pitch goes off, it usually goes away, but the time sitting in the clubhouse before the game, that's when your thoughts kind of get to you. But once I get out there, it's fine.
Well, once again, great job tonight. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Christian, thank you.
All right.
All the best. Christian
right.
Bergman. That's some story. Found out 10 minutes ago?
That is it. You have that pressure, and it's going down to the last few days and the last few hours. But as I said, you couldn't tell by him out on the mound. He looked just as normal as he was pitching in a B game on the backfield.
Yeah, well, I like what he said. First couple of pitches, then it goes. I mean, it's good to have that performance anxiety going in. A lot of times, if you don't have it, you're a problem.
Right.
Carrell Prime is the hitter, drove in the Rockies' run. 2-1 pitch, drove it off the base of the fence in right center field. That was in the second inning, scoring Paulson. Paulson's aboard again. Pitcher for the Mariners, Don Roach, and he gets Prime looking for out number 1.
Well, Live Rockies Baseball is back in 2016 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. You can follow the Rockies on your phone. Go to www.rockies.com.
1 out, 1 on. Top of the 5th. The catcher for the Rockies, Jackson Williams. On the mound, Don Roach. Marte placed the hop. There's Cano. They turn the double play. And the Rockies are done in the 5th. When we come back, it'll be Marte, Robertson, and Aoki. 8-9-1 coming up for the Mariners, who trail 1-0. Going to the Rockies and the Mariners markets tonight. I'm Dave Sims, along with Jeff Houston from the Rockies broadcast and Mike Flowers and the Mariners crew. 1-0 Rockies. Tel Marte leads off against Johan Flande. A little chopper to third. New third baseman is Jeff Bianchi. A few minutes ago, just had Christian Bergman on this, who started the game tonight for the Rockies, and 10 minutes after he left the game and right before he came on the air, he was told that he made the ball club, much to his relief. Mike Blowers, you can relate.
I can. I can't remember if it was 90 or 91, but spring training was over, and they had the buses for guys to go to different places, and I was literally standing out there with my suitcase and still didn't know where I was going.
Which bus you were going to get on?
Didn't know. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Well, they assumed that I already knew that I had made the ball club, which I had no idea.
Right.
And then they finally looked at me, what are you doing? I said, I'm not sure where to go. Get your stuff, get on the bus. We're going north.
Oh, that was a sparkling play. Marte busting it down the line. Great play by Story, and I see why all the raves, Jeff.
Well, I mean, look at this play again. He dives out into the grass, and the toughest thing when that happens, when you dive out there, is once you get up, because your hand might have a little bit of moisture on it when you grab that baseball after sliding and trying to stop, but he had the strong arm to get it over there and a nice little hop over, and Ben picked him up at first.
And he knew Marte has the wheels.
Oh, heck yeah. That's all the stuff that you process in your mind even before the ball is hit. Okay, Marte is fast. I know I have to get rid of it, so even if I dive, I don't have time to come up and set my feet and do all this other stuff. I got to get rid of it.
And that's something that takes a little bit of time. I mean, there's obviously some guys you know that they can run, but as you work your way through the league and you start to understand that, really, it lets you know before the ball has hit you what kind of play you're going to have to make. And that's something that Marte was learning last year. He came up and really played well, but there were times when maybe he rushed a throw when he had a little bit more time.
Say what, second month in, he had a better feel for who guys were. Because there was a couple of times where people misjudged his speed, where a guy's shortstop came up and then, oh my goodness, I'm gonna get rid of this thing.
And you can read all the scouting reports and you can have people tell you, but as an infielder, you have that clock in your head saying, well, I know what I need to do.
Story can't get this one. Too much top spin. Base hit Daniel Robertson, who takes an aggressive turn at first. That's the Mariners' fourth hit.
We saw him dive in the hole this time. It had too much top spin to get by him on the glove side. Was still showing range, even not getting to that ball.
Here's Aoki, struck out twice tonight. 1 out, 1 on here for the Mariners against Johan Flande. With all of that information that you have to process, at what point does an infielder, shortstop, third baseman, whatever, get comfortable? Where do you reach that point where, all right, now I got it?
For me, I would say that was probably a couple of years in the league when I had a real good idea. Because like Jeff was saying, you go through the scouting reports and I know where to play. But maybe because of some experience that I've seen with a guy that can really run, maybe I'll shorten up myself another step, get a little bit closer to make sure that on the routine play I can still get him out. Or sometimes it's the pitcher. I know that there are plenty of pitchers that we would have everything set up as far as the scouting report goes, and he would turn around and look at me. He goes, no, I need you on the line. Or don't worry. Kenny Rogers, I played with Kenny Rogers. He never wanted me to play in. He said, I have everything to the line, and he did. He was an exceptional athlete, good fielder. All those things come with time, though.
Nothing beats experience.
Right.
Robertson back. Blonde, the second pitcher used by Colorado tonight. Breaking ball for strike 2-2. Aoki's K'd twice tonight, only 4 times prior coming into this game. 2-2 pitch. Looking to extend his recent run here. He's hit safely in 11 of his last 13 ball games. Infield double play depth, 2-2 pitch. Full count. Kyle Seager's on deck. He's 1 for 2. Play Aoki a little shallow in center and a little bit towards left. And Story will double up Robertson. And that inning is over. Robertson extended his elbow, trying to look like he's trying to get hit by that relay throw. 1-0 Rockies. Safeco Insurance Grand Slam Family Package Nights. Select tickets include a hot dog and Pepsi at one special package value price. Check out a list of this year's events when you visit Mariners.com. Don't forget that Mariners home opener coming up on Friday, April 8th, a week from tonight. Ken Griffey Jr. is going to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. And the Rockies hosting the Padres a week from tonight in their home opener.
Lodo will be hopping next Friday.
Great atmosphere.
Oh, it is.
Great atmosphere there. We've been to Colorado twice in the last 4 years, I think it is. There last year.
And the Rockies were in Seattle last year.
That's right, a home and home last year. That's right. Don Rhodes continued his ball hit hard and foul. This is Jordan Patterson leading off in the 9-hole. Then Christian Adames and Trevor Story.
Jordan played in the Fall League last year, 4th-round pick in 2013.
Bounce it up there, Mike, with Don Roach. This guy's put up fantastic numbers, and he's hard luck this year with Nick Vincent being signed a couple of days ago.
Well, a 1.15 ERA down here in Arizona is something to talk about. 15 2/3 he's pitched, 18 strikeouts coming into this game. One of the guys we were talking about when the trade was made for Nick Vincent, he was one of the guys that was in the hunt, probably being the bullpen. You have a competition, and as a player, you go out and you do everything you possibly can, and some guys are still going to be disappointed about what the outcome is.
Nasty breaking ball, strikes out Patterson. 1 down.
This is what we've seen all spring from him. Move his fastball around. He has a good curveball. He had a number of strikeouts with that pitch.
I think the hardest thing for a player is when you're told you're not going to make the club and you're going down, that you're disappointed because you're not one of the 25 guys to break camp. I get that, but you also know that throughout the course of a season, it's going to be 35 guys that are going to have to play in the big leagues.
Nice play by Ketel Marte, aggressively challenging that hop.
You and I have both been there, Jeff.
Yeah,
We know
I
what
know.
that's about, and I think sometimes it takes guys a little bit of time. You look at it, what their AAA numbers are 3 weeks, a month into the season, and you wonder what's going on. Well, they're trying to get past all that and realize it. You know, we had another Stephen Romero. I thought had an excellent camp, did everything that you possibly could. Unfortunately, you get into the numbers, he had an option left, and that's the reason why he ended up getting sent out. It was nothing that he did not do on the field. He did everything, and all of a sudden he gets the news you're going down.
350,
had an option.
Yeah, 357, a homer and 8 runs batted in. He had 15 hits among the top 4 or 5 guys in the club. Trevor Story, 0 for 2. Ground out to second and a strikeout.
Another feather in Trevor's cap this spring training. He won the Abby Greer Award. It's presented annually to the spring training most valuable player. So 13 times they've handed out that award. Trevor just won it for this spring training.
Two outs, nobody on here in the 6th. Don Roach pitching for the Mariners, their 3rd hurler tonight, following Miley and Benoit. 0-2. Story's a guy appears we're going to hear a lot of good things about here during this season. 1-2 from Roach. Up the middle, base hit. Here comes Jeff Bianchi, who took over at 3rd for Nolan Arenado. Don Roach spells his name with 2 N's. Brings back memories of the late, great Don Clendenin. Played for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Mets, Cardinals, and Expos.
That'll be it tonight for Trevor Story.
Two outs, a runner on. Strike 1 to Jeff Bianchi, up from the minor leagues. Carlos Herrera is running at first base. At first base now for Trevor Story. So a lot of the youngsters going to get a chance here tonight and in tomorrow's game. Swing and a miss. And there goes Bianchi on 3 pitches. A couple strikeouts for Don Roach. Still a 1-0 lead for Colorado. Beautiful sunset over Tempe Town Lake as the Rockies lead the Mariners 1-0. Joining us right now, starting shortstop for the Rockies, Trevor Story.
Trevor, we had you on here last time we were over here in Seattle, and we're talking about the shortstop position and how you were going about your business. Now you've been named the starting shortstop. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. You know, just I feel like I've worked really hard to get to this point in my career, and you know, for it to finally be named the starter, it's pretty special.
Who was the first person you called?
I called my dad, my mom and my dad. My dad didn't answer, so I called my mom, and then so she kind of hooked it up on three-way, and I told them both at the same time, and yeah, they kind of lost it for a second.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, as a ball player, you know, to watch your son, and then to have the honor of being able to be a starting shortstop in the big leagues on opening day doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, exactly. It really is an honor to be named at that position. And yeah, just from here on out, it's all about winning games. Just helping the team however I can.
When you surround yourself, when you're out there and you look to your right, you got Nolan over there, you look to your left, you have DJ. How comforting is that?
It's awesome. Kind of a feeling you can't explain, but yeah, I mean, you're always going to be real comfortable when you have two Gold Glovers, you know, to the left and right of you. So, and you know that you can learn a lot from those guys, and you know, I've done that so far, and you know, there's a lot still more to learn. And yeah, I try to pick their brains as much as possible.
And one final thought: what's it going to be like for you when you wake up Monday morning, and you know finally it's opening day and a dream is realized?
Yeah, it's going to be special. You know, I probably won't get any sleep Sunday night, so I know that. But yeah, it'll be special, and then you know, just getting that first at bat, first everything out of the way is you know, something I'm really excited for and looking forward to.
Well, you've earned it. You came in and had a great camp. Go enjoy the rest of the night. Drive safely going back over to Scottsdale. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thanks guys, appreciate it.
Thanks, Trevor.
Trevor Story, good-looking player out of Irving, Texas. That was Cano flying out the center. Most likely his last at bat. Same can be said for Nelly Cruz, who's about to stand in. Struck out and lined out to left. Speaking of Irving, Texas, that's our first stop. And Buster Olney from ESPN wrote a heck of a piece today talking about the Mariners have the toughest early schedule in the American League, Mike. 13 of the first 23 games are against playoff teams. 18 of the first 43 are at home, and 31 of 43 against teams with records of 500 or better.
Well, that's one of the reasons why that we continue to talk about the bullpen and how important that's going to be, because as you know, the starters are going to be limited, especially for their first couple of times out. So the guys out in the pen are going to get to pitch quite a bit, and it's going to be critical for them to come together quickly.
On foul ball off the bat of Cruz, 2-1. If they could weather that storm, some of the predictions I heard from the likes of J.P. Morosi from Fox Sports, who picks the Mariners to make the playoffs as a wild card, maybe they could be realized.
One of the ways you can help that situation out is score a lot of runs. And with the way that they put this lineup together, I think there's going to be some opportunities for them to do that. I mean, you and I have talked about it, Dave, over the last 4 or 5 years, all the one-run games that these guys are in all the time, they're going to have to get that changed. And I think because they play it safe, go get the on-base guys that can run, so that when Nelson maybe isn't hitting home runs for you, you can still score runs another way. Use some of that speed.
So Cruz, he works a walk on a 3-1 pitch. 2 runners aboard here for the Mariners. That is just the second walk of the ballgame. Edgar Martinez going to have a lot to say, influencing guys in terms of hitting this season. His first full season as the hitting coach.
When he took over the job last year, it was a big improvement for everybody.
One-run games last year, the Mariners were 28 and 29. See if Adam Lind can get going. He struck out looking and swinging. Adam with 2 home runs. Most recent one came down at Camelback Ranch against the Dodgers. Well, here he is against a lefty. Johan Flande came on in the 4th inning in relief of Christian Bergman. One pitch. Left field. Patterson's there. Runners will retreat. 2 outs. And then I'll bring up Franklin Gutierrez. We're talking about one-run games, Mike, in 2014. The Mariners were 18 and 27. So last year was an improvement.
But I think
still
also,
an issue.
But then you look at those numbers, Dave, and if you're playing a third of your games are one-run games, and you're constantly trying to hang on all the time, that's a lot of pressure on your bullpen.
You're thinking of likes of Peralta and Zick, who you mentioned, Benoit, Cishek. They got Nuno and Montgomery. I'm leaving one guy out.
Nick Vincent.
And Nick Vincent. That's your bullpen. On 1 to Goody. A couple of men on. Mariners down a run. Franklin today is twice grounded out to shortstop. How long is Mott out for the Rockies? Because we had just seen him last week.
I don't think he's going to be out very long. I mean, at least, talking to him, and just didn't feel like it was a real minor thing with the shoulder. So let's hope that's the case. Be shut down, but you still have Chad Qualls, Jake McGee out there. That's the hard thrower they got in the trade with Tampa Bay.
We liked him at Tampa, but especially 2 years ago. Not so much last year, but 2 years ago, he looked like he was almost unhittable.
He looked real good this spring. A couple young kids. Castro made the team.
1-2 to Goody, and he swings at a breaking ball. And that will do it for the Mariners. Another strikeout for Flande, his second. Couple of runners stranded. Rockies lead at 1-0. Looks like he might have. There you go. A little cheesesteak action on a Friday night here in Peoria. Be on hand for the tradition that is opening night at Safeco Field. Next Friday, the Mariners host the A's at 7:10, so be sure to arrive early. Enjoy the pregame show. That includes, of course, the red carpet introductions and a first pitch thrown out by the new Hall of Famer, Ken Griffey Jr. Mariners opening night presented by your local Ford dealers. Back end of that homestand will include 3 games with Texas. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, April 11, 12, and 13. Ryan Rayburn leading off here in the 7th. Don Roach still in there. Roach came on to pitch in the 5th inning. He struck out 3 so far.
And quickly ahead. Seen that from him all spring. Throws a lot of strikes.
Well, if he continues this at Tacoma, and should anyone play not get injured, but if there's an injury or somebody falters, like his chances of getting a call is this one sent to left. Long run Robertson, and it is a foul ball.
Well, Jeff and I were talking about that, Dave. It's going to happen. You don't want it to happen, but it happens every year to every team. And you just have to be ready. So you're right. If Don can go down and have a good attitude about it, continue to pitch well, I think we will see him this year.
Roach ahead 0-2. Rayburn has struck out twice tonight, once swinging, once looking. Breaking ball missed. 2-2. Rockies got their run 2nd inning on a 2-out RBI double by Correll Prime. Rockies have stranded 3. Mariners have stranded 6 tonight. Full count. Three-two pitch. Struck him out. Back-to-back Ks at 4 so far in his outing for Don Roach. On the way here in the 7th.
Just challenged him. Good fastball right down the middle and threw it by him. 91 miles an hour. Good movement on his fastball. Had a couple of strikeouts on the curveball.
This broadcast going to Root Sports, Rockies and Mariner fans. We welcome in Jeff Houston from the Rockies broadcast with me, Dave Sims, and Mike Blowers. And Jeff, who do the Rockies play in interleague play as Barnes is retired?
Well, they have the AL East this year, so they have Toronto coming into Coors Field. They have the Yankees coming into Coors Field, going to Baltimore, going to Boston.
Means Mr. Tulowitzki will make a reappearance.
That'll be an interesting series to start with. That's in June.
Oh, man.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in June. Before that, they'll have they go to Boston and towards the end of May. Then also the Yankees home and home series.
Can I make a request?
Sure.
When Toronto comes in, I want you to videotape on your iPhone their BP and send it to me.
Got it.
That's going to be a show.
There's going to be some guys, yes.
Nothing across. Rockies leading 1-0. spring game. We'll go over to Scottsdale to take on the Rockies tomorrow. And joining us right now, Ben Paulson, starting first baseman this evening for the Rockies, went 2 for 3. Dave Sims and Jeff Houston here. Ben, good night for you. Swinging pretty good. How'd you feel out there?
Not bad, not bad. You know, just getting your timing and ready to get out of spring training.
And what's this spring training been like for you? I mean, coming in, knowing that there was an opportunity, and to go out there and hit, I think I just added it up, you're 296 now. I know sometimes you don't want to worry about spring training numbers. Other times you know, it is important.
Yeah, you know, it was a little different this year. It was a little bit more, I was a little more comfortable, and you know, getting some days off and just going out there and trying to compete and just pretend like it's an everyday gig.
What's it going to be like for you on Monday when they introduce you and you know, you're running out to the chalk line?
You know, I think it's going to be a little nerve-wracking. Every opening day, no matter where you're in the little league or the big leagues, it's you always get those butterflies, but that's a good thing.
Well, it's a big thrill, no question about it. That always the big optimism starting a new season, right?
Oh yeah, everybody starts 0-0 right now, so everybody's in first place.
What was the biggest thing you wanted to work on during spring training?
Just timing and making sure my swing was short. You know, making sure I'm ready to hit those heaters, because nowadays everybody's throwing harder and you got to hit the fastball.
And what's that like when you're standing in the box and you know you're talking about heaters and the fastball, the average fastball velocity keeps going up each year? It seems like everybody coming out of the bullpen, if you don't throw at least 95, you're a soft tosser.
No, you're exactly right. Everybody out of the pen throws hard, and everybody in the NL West is good and competitive on the mound. So you just got to go out there and be ready to hit. Just just be relaxed and ready to go.
Well, Ben, we appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes here. Great night tonight, and have a great season. Stay healthy, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Benny.
Ben Paulson from the Rockies. Mariners 1 out, 1 on. Daniel Robertson. 0-1 pitch. And a line drive. That'll get into right field for a base hit. Now here come the Mariners. They are stirring here in the 4th inning, and the 7th inning, beg your pardon. Down 1-0. Robertson's second hit. Fourth inning of work for Johan Flande. Top of the order for the Mariners, Nori Aoki. He's looking for a base hit after striking out his first 2 times up and lining out the short. Good speed out there for Seattle. First pitch to Aoki off the plate for ball 1. There's one. That's all they'll get. Over to third goes Marte as Robertson's eliminated. 3-6, second out. Oki is aboard, fielder's choice. So 1-0 lead. Runners at the corners. See if Kyle Seager has had a good night. A couple singles to center, 2 for 3. Only run of the ball game, second inning. Carell prime, 2 out, RBI double. Seager tying run 90 feet away. Strike 1. They give Kyle a huge gap in left center field.
And you can see the shift on again.
Catcher Jackson Williams is just pointing to Flande. Don't forget you got a runner at third. He's looking at the guy at first. You don't want to balk him in.
Fall asleep.
Dribbler. And Williams stays with it after the first bobble to throw out Seager. 2 more runners stranded by the Mariners. We've played 7. Rockies lead it 1-0. Anybody's written a song on that one yet, but there's still time. Mr. Houston, you can sell some things here to the folks in Colorado.
Well, I'd love to, because we were talking about the New York Yankees. You don't want to miss that when they come to town. They make a rare appearance at Coors Field. That's on June 14th and 15th. Get your tickets today to see the New York Yankees. Call 303-ROCKIES or go online to Rockies.com/tickets and don't miss out.
Rockies lead 1-0. Correll Prime, the youngster, second inning, 2-out double. Brought home the only run of the ball game. And here is Mr. Prime to face veteran pitcher Nadal Nuno. Nuno, the 4th Mariner pitcher tonight. One of 2 lefties in the pen, along with Mike Montgomery. Line drive, base hit.
We were talking about the Mariners not having Charlie at the start of the year. I think Nuno, you're going to see him late in games against the tough left-handed hitter.
Charlie Furbush, outstanding 7th and 8th inning reliever from the lefty side. Shoulder problems and no telling when he'll be back. And that's a significant loss for the Mariners staff. There's a catcher, Jackson Williams, 0 for 2. Just 1 hit on the spring. 1 for 22 for Williams. Strike 2. Nuno in his 10th game, record of 1-1 with a 4.05 ERA. Breaking ball and a beauty, gets him looking. There's one away.
Well, after a couple of fastballs, he comes right back with this curveball. Clevenger doing the catching did a nice job framing that pitch.
Steve Clevenger takes over behind a dish for Chris Iannetta. Jordan Patterson. Long run for Navarro. 2 away. After Navarro taking over in left field for Daniel Robertson.
I think Robertson moved to center field, Dave. Aoki, I think, is out of the game.
And out in right field, Goody's still out there.
Those binoculars come in handy.
That's why we use them. Absolutely.
End of spring training. He's had a lot of practice, Jeff.
Nice save by Clevenger. This is Carlos Herrera. Two and one.
This is the only night game that the Rockies have played this spring training. All the other ones.
Surprising.
Yeah, all the other ones is in the daytime. Tomorrow's an earlier start, an hour early.
High fly ball right field. Gutierrez there. That'll do it. Here in the 8th for Colorado. Rocking out on a Friday night on the berm. 1-0 Rockies. Rockies. Adorable. And some Rocky fans here as well. Crowd of 8,529 here at the Peoria Sports Complex. Shane Broyles, right-hander, takes over. Third pitcher tonight.
6'1", 180 pounds out of Texas Tech. Split time last year between 3 levels: Modesto, New Britain, and Albuquerque.
And as far as we know, not related to the great Arkansas coach, football coach Frank Broyles. No relation, no, as far as we know.
As far as I know. Out of Burleson, Texas. That's where he was born. 14th rounder in 2012.
Bottom of the 8th, 1-0 Colorado. Mike, are you as surprised as I am that here's Cano getting his 4th AB?
I'm going to guess he will not be in the lineup at noon tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Want to see at the airport deals?
Yeah, I think so.
Cruz on deck. Infield sliding over to the right for Robbie. Got a hard base hit to right field. First inning, walked in the 3rd, flied out to center in the 6th. Another big rip, trying to tie it up. 7 homers on the spring for Cano. And he is healthy. He's picked up swinging the bat where he left off in the second half last year. Of course, the difference being he's got that double hernia surgically repaired back in October. An operation done in Philadelphia. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out, 1 down.
He wasn't worried about Cano. He just said, here's my fastball, hit it if you can.
Elevated it a little bit.
Get it up in the zone.
Here's Nelson Cruz, strikeout, line out to left and a walk, 0 for 2. Broken bat, fly ball, right field, and the catch is made. Boy, it didn't quit. He hung with it.
I just like the smile afterwards. That is a long run.
Miles Jones spells his first name M-Y-L-Z. Miles Jones.
Well, high fly ball, and he knows he has to come charging hard, and then the last piece of the puzzle is making the dive. And once you hit that ground, make sure you secure it.
Oh, it's got the long sleeve length too. That helps.
Yeah, that does. Oh yeah, he'll remember that one for a while.
2 outs here in the 8th. Here's Adam Lind. Strikeout looking, strikeout swinging, and a fly to left. Skies at the center field. Max White out there. And the Mariners go 1-2-3 in the 8th. Colorado 1-0 as we head to the 9th here on a Friday in Peoria. '84. Wow. That's pretty decent. That'll work. I'm sure he hadn't warmed up at all.
Not at all.
85. He's getting not bad. All right. Not every day you can go to the ballpark and see somebody ring up these numbers. Just coming out of the stands.
Now the question is how's he going to feel tomorrow?
Yeah.
And he hit the glove on the last two strikes.
1-0 Colorado as we go to the top of the 9th. Jeff Houston with us from the Rockies broadcast. I'm Dave Sims, Mike Flowers from the Mariners telecast. Joel Peralta takes over on a man, 40 years old last week. They got him a scooter. He rode it out to the, rode it over to the ballpark a couple of days ago, and then he was told that he was going to pitch, so he had to ride it back. But they gave him a big cake and everything. Big personality in the clubhouse. Jeff, again, reminding folks about the season opener and the home opener for the Rockies that are coming up.
Yeah, the season opener in a few days away on Monday down here in Arizona, 8:40 first pitch time. We'll have a pregame show an hour before that. And then the home opener is on the 8th of September, a week from today, against the San Diego Padres, a 2:10 local start. Exciting times.
Absolutely. New season, baseball attendance all around both leagues continues to skyrocket. See if Peralta's got control of his curveball here and a splitter tonight as that one gets away. Carlos Herrera, the hitter. Dejo Leach taking over at first. Luis Sardinas at second. And Peralta behind, 2-0. It's 11th game for Joel. 0-1 with a save, a 6.30 ERA this spring. 2-0. Two-one pitch. A little bit wild tonight. 3-1. Peralta with the Dodgers last year. 3-1, a 4.34 ERA. 12th year in the big leagues. Been with Tampa Bay, Kansas City, the Dodgers, Washington, Colorado, and the Angels.
Yeah, the Rockies back in 2009. Appeared in 27 ball games.
Doesn't throw as hard as he used to, but he will still move his fastball around. His fastball is going to be 87, touch 90 every now and then. But he still has a good curveball, the split, as Dave mentioned.
He's 3-2 here to the leadoff man in the 9th. It's off of Clevenger's mask.
Well, we have a moment. I want to give a shout out to one of our colleagues back in Denver, Jenny Kavnar, who had knee surgery. She's had a little skiing accident. She's on the mend. So get well, Jenny. We need you. And hope the pain goes away soon. She had ACL surgery.
Ooh.
So
get well soon.
Yeah, a little bit of a heavy road ahead of her.
I'm familiar with that.
Yes.
Be following transactions in a few weeks. Looking for you to get off the field.
That's right.
One down here in the 9th. It's be Jeff Bianchi, the hitter, faced Joel Peralta. 1-0 Colorado lead. Correll Prime DHing tonight. He doubled back in the 2nd inning. That's the only score. Bianchi's second at bat. He struck out on 3 pitches in the 6th. Popped up to the booth, 2 hour left, 0-2. During the course of your time calling games in Colorado, have you had to bail? Foul balls coming up to the booth?
I think twice, maybe 3 times. I just remember one time Drew bailed so hard that he was like diving over and he stepped on my foot. It was underneath the table.
I always make sure these wheels are well oiled.
Yes.
Drew Goodman, who does play-by-play for the Rockies.
Yeah, occasionally it'll come up there, but it has to be a pretty good poke.
Ball and 2 strikes. Strike 3 call, 2 down.
Pretty good fastball in the outside corner. It's 91 with this fastball, and it's well located. Good job again by Clevenger. We've heard Scott Service talk about Clevenger throughout spring training. He's far ahead defensively, at least better than he expected him to be. A nice job framing that fastball on the corner.
Wesley Jones, the hitter. 2 outs, nobody on. And right to Daeho Lee, taking himself, and that'll do it. So Peralta has a 1-2-3 ninth. Last stops for the Mariners. Goody, Clevenger, and Marte coming up. Fans enjoying themselves this evening. 1-0 Rockies. Responsible for the only run tonight, Correll Prime. A 2-out double in the first inning. Scored Ben Paulson from first. 1-0 Colorado as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. And the new pitcher for the Rockies is Austin House.
Big right-hander, 6'4", 200 pounds, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. To the University of New Mexico, a Lobo. Came over in a trade from Oakland, originally drafted by the A's, but came over to the Rockies in 2014 in December. Last year with New Britain in 52 ball games, 3-4 with a 4.13 ERA.
See if there's some late inning heroics for the Mariners. Franklin Gutierrez to lead it off. He's had a tough night. 2 ground outs, a short and a strikeout. You guys, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, came up in the Montreal organization. And earlier today, the Red Sox played the Blue Jays in Montreal. 52,682 at Olympic Stadium. I think they want some baseball back up there.
I think they do. It was last year in a couple game series, they drew over 90,000.
Yeah, that's pretty doggone good. Almost 53,000. Oh, bobbled by the shortstop, and Goody's aboard. Here's the break the Mariners were looking for in E6.
It's just a young kid who just dropped it on the transfer.
Carlos Herrera. Austin Wilson will run for Goody. It's going to be an interesting story to follow. If they get 53,000, as you mentioned, Jeff, last year 90 for a 3-game series.
Well,
that opens up some eyes, or continues to open up some eyes. It'll make some people be curious about opening up some bank books.
You know, that's, I mean, they're doing the right things. They take clubs back up there to play, see how they draw, see what the interest is.
1-0.
Seems pretty strong.
Yes, it does.
Clevenger, classic double play ball right there, 2 down. Taylor made. Second double play turn tonight by the Rockies. And here's Ketel Marte, 2 outs, nobody on, bottom 9, 1-0. Rockies. 2 teams will be at it tomorrow at 12:10 Pacific time. On to Marte. A couple infield hits. Robbed by Story and a fine play in the 6th. Make that in the 5th inning. One hit hard down the line. That is a fair ball. Marte, full speed, going to second. He'll go to third. The throw to third is offline. A 2-out triple by Ketel Marte. Tying runs at third. Second triple of the spring for Ketel Marte, and still some life here with the Mariners.
And his 3rd hit of this ball game. Typically we see him stay up in the middle of the field, but he turns on this pitch. No hesitation at all. As Dave mentioned, his 3rd triple. Like to see him do this about 10, 12 times at Safeco Field this year.
Got good running for him. So 2 outs, tying run at third, Daniel Robertson. 2 for 3. Exit strike 1. Robertson with a single to center in the 5th. 7th inning, a single to right. All 1. Here's the defensive alignment against Robertson, who's had a good spring. 1-1 pitch coming. House takes Scurry, throws it away. Can you believe this? Robertson going to dig for second. He's the winning run at second base. As the error allows Marte to score. And we got a 1-1 ball game here in the 9th. Wow.
This is why you see so many pitchers now run the ball over there, or they'll underhand it. So he still had plenty of time to just run it over there, and then he just alligator armed it. Just a short hop, short throw, tried to guide it.
I think getting knocked down messed him up. As you mentioned, normally if he catches it clean on his feet, that's exactly what he would do, Jeff. He would run over there with the little underhand, but I think once he was knocked down trying to get back to his feet, decided to throw it even though he had plenty of time.
I think he might also, when he grabbed the ball, grab some dirt too. Could have affected it, but it's a good call. So here's Efren Navarro, his first at bat. He's got a chance to win the ball game here. 1-1 here in the 9th. Popped up. Patterson's there. Let's see what the home plate umpire says. We're going to go 1 more. Here comes Walt, and here comes Scott. I think they're going to shut it down because they got a 12-10 start tomorrow. And I don't think either team brought enough pitching.
No.
They'll gladly say it's a draw. And say goodnight, everybody. So a 1-1 ball game here. Gentlemen, final thoughts.
I thought it was a nice game for Marte. It's good to see him. He's